Okay, guys and girls, welcome to the first episode in a short series of short videos. This will be guides on getting started in Steamhammer. I've just seen a few people on the forums having a bit of problem understanding some of the base mechanics. It does have a bit of a steep learning curve compared to other survival games, but once you get the hang of it, you'll find it pretty simple. So anyway, let's get started. We'll be going over basic gathering, crafting some tools, finding some good food sources. Alright, so to get started, this is a fresh character. As you can see, have low stats. We have custom starting loadout on the server I'm playing on, our Black Talons server. These are the default items, these clothes, the fish, the book, and the headlamp are all default. The oranges, the scrap metal saw, and the scrap metal hatchet, or machete, they're part of a custom loadout that we have on our server for new characters, so we'll show you how to make those in a minute though. So let's just put all these on. You can either right click or you can double click to perform the default action. Right click, and then if you come down to the drop down menu that pops open, you'll see multiple choices for many things. If you right click on something in the list, you'll see this option here at the top becomes the default. That's what we right clicked on. So now it's drop. If we go to equip, right click, that becomes the default. You can click there if you like, or you can now just double click and it will actually perform the default action. As you can see, equip. So let's get the scrap metal machete. In our stat window here, we can scroll down, there's a few more stats hidden under there. You got your basic stats, strength, agility, etc. If you scroll right down, you see your soft hit points and hard hit points. But right down at the bottom, we have the hunger, and this here is very important, and most people don't know about it. They don't understand what it means, because at the moment there's no real explanation in game as to what this does. But the food quality multiplier, all the XP you earn in game is multiplied by this number. The way to increase that is by eating. Alright, we'll have to wait for our hunger bar, which is the green one down here, to go down, and then we can eat. When we eat food of good quality and a variety of foods and more complex meals, it will increase our food quality multiplier. F10 will enable you to edit your HUD. You can click the little cogwheel on most of these and you'll see an opacity meter come up. You can also close it, but I wouldn't recommend that. You can lock it and unlock it. If it's locked, that means when you exit out of UI edit mode, then when, for example, this target window here, when we're normally playing, if we look at something that's within range, let's just go up to a tree here, you'll see the target window pop up like that. You'll see where it says fir tree, snap off a branch, etc. That's the target window information. If we unlock it and then get out of edit mode, look at the tree, and the target window is not popping up because we basically told it to close that window whenever we're not in edit mode here. You can also drag things around and resize some things. If you want to move a skill on your hotbar, you can do that while in your UI edit mode. If you're not in UI edit mode, you cannot drag your skills around on the hotbar. I usually like to put my teleport home skill at the end there. So we'll go over skills another time in more detail. But basically, to get started, we want our machete equipped, which we have. Hold V, by the way, you can go into camera orbit mode. You don't need to pull your weapon or tools out to use them. Your character will automatically use them when you perform actions. Anyway, we want to find some grass here. Just right click. We have many different options. To begin with, we want to go to, let's have a look, farming, plant fiber. I'm going to right click to make it the default. And now, instead of having to right click and go in here, click here or find it in the list. We don't have to do that now. Now we can just push E on our keyboard or left mouse button. Our crafting timer is sped up a little bit on this server too, by the way. I think that's a bit faster than the default. Now, as you can see, my farming skill at the top left there, it's saying it's increasing, and every now and then I'm finding some plant fiber. Not all the time. When you're gathering plant fiber or looking for something edible or wild plants or anything like this from the ground, you do not need to search a few times. If you stop finding something, like you click it a few times and you don't get anything, it doesn't mean it's run out. It just means keep clicking. You don't have to then move on to the next tile or run over there. Alright, we have some plant fiber. Now let's head on over here. You see in the distance up here we have some scrap metal or scrap copper. Looks like a bit of a junkyard. Basically what we want to do is just anywhere where it's got copper in the ground texture. It doesn't have to be these bits sticking up. I think that's just decoration. It's actually in the ground tile. We can right click. We don't want to prospect for copper. That's to do with mining, which we'll get into in a later episode. We're going to come down to blacksmithing, gather copper scraps. I'm going to right click, set as default, and let's gather some scraps. We're going to need a few of these. This is what we're going to use to make our first set of tools, basically. Oh, and I've run out of stamina. That's the yellow bar down the bottom left here. The red bar is our health, obviously. Green is hunger, as I said earlier. But you'll notice as I'm gathering scrap or performing any action, it uses stamina. Okay. Open our inventory, which is also our basic crafting window. And we don't need to worry about these molds just yet. That's for later. We have many different options here. Okay, so under engineering tab, which is this one here with the hammer, you'll see that's where the scrap metal machete is. You just click on it, it'll show you what you need. We need the plant fiber, which we gathered already, some scrap copper, which we just gathered, and if you hover your mouse cursor over and leave it there for a second, it'll pop up with a tooltip. We need a branch. I'm not actually going to make this, but I'm just going to show you guys how to do it. Go to any tree. Now if we right click on the tree, we have default option on a new character is snap off branch, by the look of it. Alright, we can also gather a sprout, grab a sprout off it through farming. Engineering is snap off branch. Construction, if we had an axe equipped, we could cut it down. What we want to do is actually inspect it for now, and we want to look at the quality. This is it actually isn't too bad. 65. Max quality is 100. If it's down to about 10 or less, I really wouldn't bother using branches off that. That's very poor quality, and the quality level does matter when you're gathering branches or any materials to craft things. The quality level of those items, the materials, along with your skill level, does determine the quality level of the product that you're crafting. So be aware of that. So this is actually pretty good. I'm going to grab these branches. Let's have a look in system. There is nothing left to forage here. Okay, so if we right click and inspect, we'll now see branches are no longer listed as useful resource. Let's get crafting. Now, new players that have never played this or Life is Feudal might be wondering when they open their inventory, why are all these branches split up into different slots? Why doesn't it auto stack? I'll explain. If we hover our mouse cursor over one of these branches, we'll see the quality level of this is 18. even though the tree said 65, that doesn't matter. That will sort of determine the base quality level of the items that you're taking from the tree, but then your skill level also comes into effect here. And because we're a new character, our skill levels are all very low. We're only getting quality level 18. And then if we look at the next one, that's 21. It's getting a little bit better. 23, 25. As you can see, the further along we go to the most recent branches that we grabbed, the quality level's gone right up to 29. That's because our skill level was actually increasing as we took branches from the tree. So the higher your skill, the better quality you'll get out of it. I think it's up to a maximum of whatever quality level the tree is. You can also manually stack these items, and what will happen is if we look at this first branch, it was level quality 18, the second was 21. If we click and drag to stack it, that's gone to 19. As you can see, it kind of averages between the two stacks that you're combining. Anyway, I'm not too worried about this, so I'm just going to combine them all, and we ended up with 10 branches at quality 24. Not too bad. So now we've got our scrap metal machete selected, we've got all our ingredients, as you can see here, all the numbers green. Now if we just click craft, it will actually craft it. I'm not actually going to do that because I want to use these materials to make something else, but that is how you make your machete, and you need a machete pretty much right away. Should be one of the first tool that you make. I'm going to go over to blacksmithing, and let's have a look. At some point we will need a scrap metal pick, but not right yet. A saw we have. All of these use the same materials, by the way, as you can see. It's all scrap copper, plant fiber and branches. Now we will need an axe. I will grab one of those. And we will need a hammer. We actually need 2 more scrap metals, so let's grab 2 of those real quick. Haven't found anything. That happens sometimes. I'll just keep clicking on the same spot and boom, look at that, we got 5 copper scraps. So you don't need to keep moving around and searching all different tiles. You can just keep searching the same spot. Haven't found anything. Okay, fair enough. Wait for my stamina. And boom, we got some more. And our blacksmithing went up. Lovely. Alright, should do for now. Now let's make our hammer. Not going to bother making the shovel just yet. I'll probably make the shovel and the pick between episodes, but you guys should know enough now on how to make your beginning tools. Okay, next up, let's have a quick look at some more gathering and how to gather some food right at the beginning of the game. I don't recommend doing this as you level up and establish your own sort of claim. You want to get yourself some crops and make some good food, but to begin with, you can right click, come down to farming. We can search for something edible. It's the most basic way to find food. So I'm going to make it default action by right clicking. Haven't found anything. There we go. Got some edible taproot. So we're ripping some taproot up out of the ground, and we're actually going to eat it. Ugh. Alright, that'll do. Open our inventory, here we go. Quality 10, 7 of them. It's not bad. We can eat it, and you can see our hunger bar barely moved. Let's try another one. Oh, went up a little bit more. Okay, let's open our stat window and have a look at our food quality multiplier. 0.53. That's not too bad. It actually went up a tiny bit from eating 2 of those. What happens if we eat something better quality? So those were quality 10. We ate 2 of them. We have a look at this smoked sea bream. It's part of the default loadout. The oranges are not, but we will look at those in a sec. The smoked sea bream is quality 50. Okay, let's have a look. Eat it. Filled our hunger. And our food quality multiplier went, boom, 1.04. So now our XP rate is a little bit better. Now we won't be able to eat any of the oranges right now because our hunger bar is full. So let's have a look at something else to do with food. Under farming, gather wild plants. Let's right click, make default, start left clicking. As you can see, he's using his machete. So to do this, you will need to make your scrap metal machete, or an iron one if you have progressed that far. Haven't found anything, just keep going on the same spot. This tile really doesn't like me. So we got some hemp, and our farming increased and our constitution increased. Oh, found a potato. Lovely. We could be getting lots of you haven't found anything because this piece of ground could actually be very low quality. I think that has something to do with it. Let's have a look. With our machete equipped, we can go construction and lower ground level. That will dig down one little piece of dirt. If we look at our inventory, oh, there it is. What's the quality? 8. Yeah, that's garbage. Right click or double click, pour on ground, gets rid of it. Let's have a look over here somewhere. I believe this is the tree that we just got some stuff off before. Let's have a look at the ground here. First person, because the tree's in the way. Oh. Alright, let's gather wild plants from this spot. Got a carrot, tomato, really not having much luck. There's another potato. We will find more things off the ground as our skill increases, just like anything. Whoop. Alright, that should do for now. Let's have a look. What did we end up with? We got a piece of hemp and some potatoes from before. That hemp is quality 2, not very good at all. Used for making clothing and rope later on. Quality 1 potato. Might be useful for throwing at someone. I think we're actually going to leave that episode just here. Next episode we'll have a look at the workstations and look at building our first claim and home. In the meantime, have a run around, explore, try and find yourself a decent place that's maybe got some flat sort of area like this, like a plain, for your first home. Because to build buildings, you're going to need to flatten the terrain, which we'll look at the next episode. But try to avoid the hills and especially rocky areas, because you cannot terraform rock ground. You can only terraform dirt, sand, and clay. So till next episode, happy hunting.